Welcome back again, boys. This one we're going to do a Heat Boys, Raphael. As some of you might know, the Heat Boys are also coming out with a shredder, a Kang that's going to be huge. The shredder looks pretty badass. I honestly think the shredder would pair well with maybe the Mosho ninjas or samurais. So that's what I'm hoping for. Otherwise, I wouldn't get the shredder. I'm just going to kind of put them over there with the samurai clan, if you will. So this box is nice and square. I forget what the other ones look like, but this one has a lot of accessories. And it seems, you know, there's always a theme. What just came out with the other arms? The Mosho Takeda Shinjin White. He also has the bigger arms. His fit over his forearms like gloves. These go over the top of Raphael's forearms, like more like gauntlets, I guess. The first tray, top tray accessories. Some of the drill bits, the arms, the weapons. Look at the Japanese writing. That's cool. The Wolverine claws. This is probably going to be the biggest and bulkiest one out of the three, just because these arms are ridiculously big. I'm still debating on whether or not to, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to display them with the arms. If I do display them with the arms, definitely not the claws. That's just overkill. It is cool. But getting back to the Takeda White version, this you'll see here when I'll get to it. The arms connect here, and it makes it look like, I don't know, almost Dr. Octopus arms or Iron Spider arms. The Takeda Shinjin, you can do that with the pieces. There's holes on the back of the shoulder. It's an unorthodox way to hook up the arms for him, because I don't think they're really meant to like come off of his shoulders and come out and be their own separate entity. They're meant to either go on as gloves. And they also didn't quite give enough hookups on the Takeda to make it as robust as this one. Whereas this one, the arms are meant to come off of the mechanical joints, if you will, or mechanical poles off of his shoulders, and the Takeda was more to slip over his gloves. Second tray, this is the heavy one with the boys in it. Third tray, and I don't think it's a huge deal, but if you do pre-order, you get the translucent one. This one is the van, so it's kind of cool that they put together, you can put together a mini party van. You know, it's not too detailed, but it's nice to give you that kind of Easter egg, I guess. These guns are badass. They're like hand shotguns. The size, I heard, are real metal. And again, we'll get better looks at this. And there's the shoulder brackets for the arms. Nice booklet here. And the classic stand, poles, pole holder stands. So you can probably do a small one or screw these together to make a bigger pole. That's actually kind of cool. Instead of giving a bunch of different poles, you can combine them. So you're getting three different sizes. You're getting a small, a medium, and if you put them together, a large. That's a genius idea. On almost any toy, unless they overkill it, I'm not a fan on this wire, but, you know, a couple twists is fine. Some toys back in the day, man, they'd have, for a little plastic toy, they'd have so many wires, like on the ankle, on the thighs. I mean, it was crazy. But this one's minimal, just one. Cut the safety tape. Nice protection, too. I like that. So, I don't want to rip these out apart, so I'm just trying to... You'll see it if you get this figure. So, Leo was number 1. Mikey's number 3. He was the second release, and Raph is number 2. Not sure what happened. Not a huge deal, but I heard that Raphael was supposed to get released second. That's why the numbers. But I want to show you this. There's a piece of plastic that protects, that's in between this gray piece that I'm moving and the lower stomach. So when you bend him forward, just be careful that doesn't get caught up here or anything and scratch it. So these here you have to be, you know, there is going to be some scuff areas you have to be careful for. Just like most high-end collectibles, because they're able to pose so crazily. A lot of different molded parts, like the shoulders are different. So these definitely aren't the same robot. The only thing that's going to be the same is, same-ish, is a little bit of the color scheme, the heads. But for the most part, I'm telling you, these things look individual in their own right. Amazing. Nice, hefty, heavy figures. They didn't go too far off a script. I know it's the mech turtles, but they stayed true to the design. And that's the magnetic pizza that turns on all the lights and everything. Sooner or later, you probably have to pull the batteries out of all this stuff so they don't ruin anything. Without mask? So this mask here has a couple small tabs. So what I'll do is connect that right there. Nice fit. I mean, was it necessary this and then to put a mouth guard, or just fucking do it? Jeez. I mean, it's just some little stuff like that these companies could either save money on or pass the savings to us. I mean, it's just a little gripe, but, you know, it's just the same thing, but with the mouth guard. You know, just maybe make the mouth guard removable. I don't know. I don't design. All right, so this was the turtle tray, and you got the classic. I forget how it opens. Oh, right here. You got the turtle shell opening. You can put your turtle in. Oh, there we go. That bends up too. Drive mode. Sick. Boom. There you go. The first, aka or turtle tray, is in. I love how they're all different colors. I think it was once the Turtle arcade game came out, if I'm not mistaken. That's when they really started getting into differentiating the turtles with different shades of green, you know, adding some spots on them here and there. What else did they do? Their age. Like, I remember them, you know, saying their age. Leo was 16. Mike, Raph and Don were both 15, and Mikey was the youngest. He was 14. So it was kind of cool when they started doing that, you know, because in the beginning, the turtles were all red. The only differentiation was I think their weapons. Then they started getting the belts with the initials on them and color. So over the years, you kind of see the evolution of it, which is nice. All right, we'll get into the weapon tray. So let's check out the arm real quick. Look at that. That's sick. The pistons get me every time, boys. That's cool. It's just the arms, and then look, you put on... Don't get me wrong, I mean, I love the idea of the claws. Can bend them all type of ways, which is cool. They just clip on like that. I don't think there's a correct side. The claws are left or right. I mean, I guess it's not that bad. But maybe if there was a way to just put them on without him having to have the whole backpack thing. So that's what I'm probably going to do. I'm going to see if I can maybe... Do these come off so you can peg something in? No, that's on a ball joint. Yeah, I'll see if I can maybe get them on there. Because if I can do it without the backpack, that would be kind of cool too. Drill closed. Drill opens. I've seen pictures and shit. I'll figure out how to put these in. I think it goes... Yeah, so you have the lighting effect inside. And then it'll connect on. So this piece here slides right out. So we can start connecting things if you'd like. You can also pull off this piece here. If you want to skip the arms and go right for the big boy claws... Yeah. It pegs in pretty securely. I mean, it doesn't peg in like it's supposed to fit there. It's a little loose. But it's kind of cool if you don't want to go too bulky and you just kind of want to go straight up mech Wolverine. But the arms are really cool. See, if they made a cool mech with this... Instead of building that turtle van, you had the legs, the body. That would be a pretty sick mech, man. Here's the back. This thing's solid metal, the backpack piece. This thing's heavy. You put this with him, I think he'll be the heaviest turtle out there. Seriously. And you want to take these off here. On the side of the calves, if you want to put the gun holsters on. These things are cool. So Leo's, Mikey's chains were metal. Leo's katanas were metal. And Raph's sais are metal. Really cool. Heat Boys, I can't say enough good things about these guys. I haven't found anything wrong. I mean, they're very solidly built. I was denying the shredder at first, but I think I'm going to get the shredder. I mean, there's a couple cool poses you can pull off with this guy, but my major concern was when I first saw him, yeah, the arms are cool, but it's just like, damn, I can't figure out, you know... Like every pose, or most poses, to me, aren't that cool. You know, it's like, all right, you got the... You know, now you're going to mess with two arms type of deal. Too bad you just couldn't attach him to his arms. But it is what it is. So messing around with it, you can pull the arms off to get either a longer or shorter version. So I'll mess around with that and see if I can come up with something a little cooler. I think a little shorter is cool. I mean, everybody has their own preference, but I honestly think the shorter is cool. Because you have a lot of articulation with this arm. It doesn't need to be, for me, an octopus type of arm. I think just having them bulked up like that, I'll go with the arms. And now, if you happen to put the, I'm just going to call them Wolverine claws on, you get the, so I took off this much. Or you can make one arm super long and one arm super short. Play around with it. So I have definitely his guns on because even though these are Ninja Turtles, they are mech. So we are going to go, we are going to do guns. If you want regular Ninja Turtles, there's thousands of different Ninja Turtle toys out there. But this, for me, I'm going mech. Mech turtle. All right. So actually, I think this is a lot cooler, shorter like that. The claws are just, they're just too far out, man. That's why I don't display my figures with swords and stuff, really, because they just kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Especially if you don't have a ton of room. I mean, yeah, there's a couple figures out there where you can get some really good poses with their wings. Getter Robo, Mazinger Z. But you have to have the room to get a nice pose. You don't want to just cram it in there, which a lot of people have to do. It is what it is. Just threw in the side holders. Cling! Cling! Boom. Beautiful. There's a little peg holes on the side, so if you want to have them hold them, which I think I'm gonna. I'm just kind of getting in it right now. Yeah, so I have it going now. Let's put some size in. I didn't realize, and maybe this will help you guys out, because the directions didn't really show it either. It just showed one A to Z. I'm like, oh man, I was going to show you guys the directions, but once I figured it out, I was like, okay. So basically what it is, here's the arms. There's a backpack option. I think he looks cooler without the arms, and I like this backpack rig kind of setup. You need a guy who can fly on the team, right? So, boom, he has these. Now, two things. If you pull and twist, the peg will come out, but if you pull it straight out, it has a fork. So what I did was I pulled it and the fork was left on, and I'm like, how am I supposed to connect the thruster pieces? So it took me a second to figure it out, and I'm like, oh. All right, so that's why we got the thrusters on, the drills on. Thrusters, drills, got the size going. So now, what I did to juice up my team a little bit, I got these, you can get the generic version, Bandai effects. So I can just kind of throw them around. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'm going to do a comparison. But this is where I wanted him at here. He has that nice flame effect or aura effect. Let me get the other guys out. When Donatello comes in, because damn right I pre-ordered them, I'll have all the boys together and I'll do a quick comparison video. You know what? I'm going to say it is a huge deal. I was just going to say it's not a huge deal to have die-cast weapons, but it is. I'm glad they included that. To have a real, metal sai sword, that's really cool. I'm glad, very glad they did that. So we'll take a gun out. There's a lot of different ways to connect this. So this is one of the only figures I actually checked the directions on. So these come off, these top silver knobs here, and you can use the different fixtures to plug the arms in, like a backpack booster. I mean, you can take off a ton of these, switch it all up. I mean, this is probably the most, I'd say, fun one so far just because there's a lot more options. Mikey had a lot of options as well. But, I mean, that's mostly just switching the guns around and things like that. This thing here, you can hook up the backpack here. You can hook it up to the shoulder. You can hook it up here, or the arm, rather. So I'm, myself, just playing around with different configurations to see what gets the best look. I'd rather have it all just on one backpack. Again, I don't really care for the arms, and I think it is kind of cool to have, you know, a turtle that can, you know, fly a little bit, I guess. And I'll open up one of these. This is fucking cool. This guy's cool. There's a lot of little connectors, which I love. So you can, you know, you can just do... Everyone can have a different look. I mean, there's so many different configurations. All right, little piece of advice. So if you're going to hook up the arms backpack style, you can also put the drills down here. I mean, there's so many different things. It's normally going to tell you to use this like elbow piece. Use this one because it has more articulation. So what I'm doing, again, I showed in my last video, this does a great job if you just use a little of lubing also pieces up, and it will protect. So I can get this closer to the back with the full bend with this piece. So that is very nice. All right, here's the final configuration. I took that little elbow piece here, okay, stuck it onto the die cast, then took the piece it's supposed to attach to so it can attach here. So now what I did was raise it up off his shoulders for more articulation. Look at that. Now you got an extra side swivel, way better articulation. Yeah, way better. Move around a little more. Nice and tight. That's the way I'm going to keep that one. And look, I can bring them down on the shoulders. And I'm working on the backpack. And I put the backpack back on the side because I hated moving this and it moved the backpack. Although I liked it as one piece where you can just pull the die-cast harness off and just have it all in one. Functionality-wise, I think it fits better here. You might be able to also, you know, attach it to this if you still want it one piece. I mean, there's so many options. There's a peg here, hole here. So if you did want it one piece all on the die cast, which I wouldn't blame you, you can do that. You can also start using the arms again, depending on how you want it configured again. And this is just my preference. I just want to make enough room to be able to give them articulation and not have too many pieces, you know, whack into each other. Here's the trio so far. Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo. Yep. Like, share, subscribe. We're waiting for that Donatello. We have some blue flame effects around here. Shit. Definitely looking good. Thanks for watching again. Peace.